Who want one last trip to the long trail?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. As you know, earlier today I made a video where I was talking about the developers and their need to act. There's a lot of problems currently going on with the game, some game-breaking bugs that exist, and players want the developers to address that. Now what we have here is a tweet that is seeming to do just that. 2 hours ago at the time of recording, it says, "We will inform you about the schedule and response policy regarding the distribution of the emergency patch version 3.001. and a recent battle balance adjustment." So this is talking about the next update and also battle balance. Here it says, regarding the latest battle balance adjustments for season 3, since the following version 3.0, we have received a large amount of feedback through the portal. They also highlight that they are reviewing it daily. They go on to say, in 3.0, we have made adjustments to balance the game overall while maintaining the individuality of each character. That's not true. They are simplifying character style and all of that stuff. I hate how they say that when it's a bold-faced lie. By curbing excessive return centered around heat and character-specific enhancement states. On the other hand, we recognize that the battle experience that the developer team intended to deliver has not fully met your expectations. So do they mean that it wasn't enough, or are they referring to the bugs? With heat at its core, we aim to create, so they're acknowledging how they're not getting rid of heat. That's very important what they said. With heat at the core. So it's the core of the game. It's not going anywhere. We aim to create a battle experience that balances offense and defense, allowing players to feel the strategic interplay through reading their opponents. The part there about reading the opponents, it could be something special or it could be a nothing burger, because that's one problem that Tekken 8 is really suffering from. Even when you know what your opponent is going to do, you still can't stop them. Whether it's Victor shooting the gun, whether it's Heihachi going for a heat smash guard break, whether it's Steve Fox over here, whether it's Yoshimitsu low unblockable sword, some things you know it's coming and you could do nothing but close your eyes and die. So hopefully that's what they're referring to, and hopefully they're serious about addressing that. Moving forward, we will maintain the adjustment policy of version 3.0. So they're saying that they're not going to change the current state, and they will continue on this path. While continuing to adjust any remaining elements that lead to excessive return on one-sided gameplay, we will address these issues by making gradual improvements through individual behavior corrections and performance adjustments. I mean, this is kind of what we already knew. They're just saying it as broad as daylight, so I guess we could give them credit for that, for no longer lying to our face and making us believe that they're going to do something different. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I will be covering all of the future updates and everything surrounding Tekken 8. Bullet point number 1 says recent schedule and response plan. Version 3.0.01 schedule is scheduled for release around 11 a.m. on Thursday, March 26th. So about time you guys are watching this video, an emergency patch is planned to fix high priority bugs and unintended behaviors. Patch notes will be released simultaneously with the update. When that stuff releases, I will definitely make a video about it, so you guys could just subscribe and stay tuned. It says for version 3.002 is scheduled for release in mid-April. Now, considering that the character who started season 1, which was Eddie, released in around April, and the character who started season 2, which is Anna, both released in April, I can only assume that Kunimitsu will release in this mid-April update as well. That's not confirmed, but it's just going off of past trends. That's probably Kunimitsu's release date. And they also don't give us any information about that update, which kind of more proves that point. Now it says for version 3.01, so this is kind of like a new chapter of the 3.0 update. This is scheduled for late spring. That could be Bob, but I don't know. It says currently we are prioritizing and considering solutions for bug fixes, revisions to behaviors that lead to excessive return, and performance adjustments, primarily focusing on heat system. We will subsequently fix items that can be addressed in a short period of time, and for major fixes, we will provide a sufficient testing period before gradually adjusting them throughout each update. So this here is actually good news, because it is confirmation from the developers that they will balance through tournaments. We will not have to wait until season 4 for them to continue balancing the game. So even if it's small updates or it's minor this, minor that, they will tweak the heat system, they will tweak some characters, and that will happen this season, late spring. Another thing they say, this is about the feedback portal. Currently, the feedback portal is operated with the highest priority on early detection of bugs and unintended behaviors. The priority responses is determined based on feedback reactions with the official Discord server. In 3.0.01, we will address the reports received particularly strong feedback and whose impact on the fixes was limited. In version 3.0.02, we will individually examine and address other bugs and behaviors as they occur. A lot of players was skeptical and kind of doubting the importance of the feedback Discord. So this will kind of show us how meaningful the feedback we're given are, and it would also show us what kind of feedback they are listening. Because right now in that Discord, a lot of people are asking for crazy buffs. There's a lot of downplaying. There's a lot of arguing, and I was kind of sitting back just wondering, how will the developers kind of like make their way through all of it? And with this update and these updates that they're going to do very shortly, we will see just the beginning of that. And then if it's something crazy, we could try to get in there, tell them to stop or tell them to do something differently. But if it's something good, we could celebrate them and tell them thank you. It goes on to say that adjustments to the battle system and character performance are made based on a cohesive assessment that includes the content submitted to the portal. In response to many requests we received regarding the game, we've created a new category submitting, which is called Requests for Battle and Systems. This bullet point is kind of vague. They use the word battle, which is kind of a weird word to use, but just considering the way that they're phrasing it and kind of what they're talking about leading up to this moment, I would assume this is where they're talking about taking actual like balancing buffs and nerfs into consideration, because that's really what's dominating the conversation. There is bug reporting, but it sounds like they're opening up conversation for battle balancing to actually take place in the feedback Discord. We also plan to set up a channel on the official Discord server where players can discuss requests they submit. We will announce this soon as it's ready. With them open up this new section within the portal, I'm interested to see how it goes, because something that we know about Tekken is that they received a lot of feedback based on balancing, and almost all of it has not made its way into the game. So the fact that they're opening up sections of it within the Discord, what will change? What will be the outcome of that? You do have a lot of players who feel that this is just an attempt to get the complaints off of Twitter and to kind of silence that conversation, so the game isn't like talked about in a super negative way so publicly, and the developers in a cryptic way are trying to lock the conversation behind closed doors. I'll let you guys decide whether or not that is or is not what the developers are doing here, but time will tell. Time reveals all. Let's keep reading. We understand that you may have requested individual feedback from the development team regarding your posts, but at this time we are prioritizing improvements to the game experience and focuses on fix and adjustments. We will continue to consider how to proceed in the future. They need to ensure that this update go well. There could be no more bugs from this. There could be no more glitches for this, because this sounds like the one that's going to lead all the way up to Evo Japan. So this will have like real implications for tournaments. And then also with the way that this is written, it's done so in a more clear and concise way. They're not lying. They're not using any fancy words. They're being very specific about what they're doing, and this is kind of what they should have been doing from the start.